The Heckler Koch P7 is a very interesting gun, and it comes from a very interesting time. It was developed in the 1970s when the German federal police needed new guns and more firepower. There was a competition between SIG Sauer, Walther, and Heckler Koch. The HK won.
One of the hottest guns on the collector's market today is the HK P7. The gun was originally designed in the mid-1970s as a replacement for the German police sidearm that had been used in somewhat ineffectively at Munich in '72. In fact, the Munich hostage situation was the direct impetus to replace that pistol with a new one. And HK came to the forefront with a very interesting gun that met all of the requirements of the purchasing commission.
The Heckler Koch P7 is unlike any other law enforcement sidearm we've really ever seen. It had some truly innovative features, even until this day. The most noticeable feature of the P7 is its front strap. So unlike most handguns you see today, it's not a fixed frame, it's not a fixed front strap. It's a movable, squeezable front strap, and that's actually how you cock the pistol. The gun can't fire until you apply pressure to that front strap and fully squeeze and engage the grip. It takes about 13 pounds of pressure in order to fully engage the front strap, which sounds like a lot, but when you're squeezing with your full hand, you can get that gun into battery pretty quickly. And you have to maintain that grip in order to continue firing the gun. And after you initially squeeze the gun, it doesn't take much pressure to maintain that grip. That's the safety. I mean, that's the way that the gun's mechanism works.
The requirements that the Germans put out were a little, I don't want to say kooky, but they're Germans, so they're very specific on what they want. And one of the things that they wanted was a lightweight gun, under 2.5 pounds. And when you have a locked breech gun, or even worse, a blowback, you know, to hit all those things that the German police wanted, this was the best contender. It's interesting in that it's actually a gas-retarded blowback. And when you look at the gun, when you look at the slide, you can see that there's no extra material there. You know, the slide comes straight back. The barrel's fixed. You know, you don't have as many moving parts, so it's a fairly simple gun. But what it does have is essentially an expansion chamber down below the barrel. And when the gun is fired, gas is bled off, and it goes down and it hits a piston. And the force of the gas on that piston keeps the gun closed just long enough for the pressure to drop. And when you shoot the gun, you don't know any of that's going on. The other problem with a blowback gun is sometimes it's hard to get the cases out, right? So they actually put a series of flutes in the chamber. What that does is reduces the friction and allows that case to be broken away from the chamber walls and ejected from the gun.
The Heckler Koch P7 also ends up being imported into the United States by Inner Arms of Alexandria, Virginia, and ends up being adopted by select law enforcement agencies here in the United States. And though it doesn't see the same kind of widespread adoptions as later designs like the Glock do, it still makes enough of an impact that it's remembered as being a really novel and innovative handgun design from the late 20th century.
The HK has a number of variants, the M8, the M13, and they have kind of added to the lure and luster of the P7 to where these guns, which were $500 or less, you know, in the collector's market just a while back when they were actually still being manufactured, are now worth thousands of dollars.